No sound. That's classic. No sound. Okay, we'll cut this out. So let's do this from the very beginning. We will cut this sound from the very beginning for that. Okay, now you should have a sound, and that's why we should have a pre-roll and checks and things like that. Welcome to Livestreams. It's Livestreams Tuesday. My name is Viktor Gamov, and yeah, you will hear me in a second. We have a slight delay, and I have a few seconds between us. It's okay. So today, live streams, great topic. I announced some of the topics to talk about Spring Cloud Streams because it was also one of the questions in the past, this question like pop up time to time in our conversations in live streams as well. And the sound levels, let's see. Yeah, that should so. Yeah, we're good now. Great, great. It's awesome that things are finally finally work. And where's my YouTube comments? Yes. While we're doing this, while we in a pre-show, write down in the comments where are you coming from today. So I'm coming to you live from East Coast, from New Jersey, New York area, and today we are expecting some snow. Write down in the comments where are you coming from. I think we need to fix the description because today I was planning to talk about Spring Cloud Streams, but stay tuned for some announcements because I'm planning to do another awesome workshop that will involve some of the serverless technologies, Kotlin, Google Cloud, and Confluent Cloud. So that's stuff that is coming. So stay tuned for that. But today we're going to be talking about Spring Cloud Streams. Some of the announcements again, registration for Kafka Summit. It is open, so you need to go and register for Kafka Summit Europe. We go in here, we go in there, and let me make it bigger. Make it bigger. With the Kafka Summit website is up, so you can register and get your ticket. It's going to be a virtual event. It's going to be plenty of cool speakers. So we closed the call for papers last week, and now we are in the work of selecting those speakers. All right. That's Kafka Summit. Do not forget to subscribe. All right. Let's see where our crowd is coming from today. So we have a coverage in Kenya. So we're working on Kenya, it's great. Max is coming from Austria. Welcome to the show. Tony TV from Winnipeg, minus 29. My condolences is my biggest sympathies. It's pretty cold. I don't want to be there. Even though I'm Russian and there's stereotypical thing that Russian people are love the cold weather. I can tolerate, but I don't love it. Oh wow! We have some JSON formatted response from Naveen. Naveen, thanks for being part of live streams. All right, great. Vivek from India, awesome. Thank you for joining us. All right. So as I wanted to talk about Spring Cloud Streams. So Spring Cloud Streams is a usually, I don't know if we publish this podcast or not. So this is going to be a podcast where I was interviewed by my colleague Tim Berglund, and we were talking about all Streams technologies, Spring technologies, and related to Kafka. And I did a rundown and explained some of the things around Spring Kafka, how it integrates with Streams. and so far and so on. And I found that our audience usually come in with the questions, what's the difference between one and another? And if you were following this channel and was watching some previous videos, I was talking mostly around like this thin wrapper called Spring Kafka. So essentially it gives some of the auto configuration if you're using Spring Boot, and it uses some of the things around simplified configurations and like injecting certain of the properties. So these things that I used in some of my demo. Today we're gonna try do something different. So Spring Cloud Stream Spring Cloud Streams, or Stream. We'll check, like you said, Spring Cloud Stream. Okay, Spring Cloud Stream. So this framework is actually came a very long way, like from being some sort of like a wrapper on top of Spring integration, which is basically tool set for implementing enterprise integration patterns. Now, with the recent additions to the framework, so they transition to more function-based approach and more like a function as a service type of style of programming. So it will take depart from this like a Spring integration, even though there's Spring integration somewhere down below might be used. And that's what we're going to be focusing today. And historically, Spring Cloud Stream was a very complex thing to use, and because it was very opinionated. And but I don't think it's like very complex once you learn some of the conventions, some of the things around how to properly customize things, right? So you will be totally fine with this approach. Now, give me a quick second to see what is going on in our chat group. We're going to move to trash. So in our chat, we've seen not so many kangaroos, but forest. Okay. And hello from Norway, Simon. All right, so let's take a look. What do we have today? Now, let me switch my screen. As always, we're gonna start with start.spring.io. It's gonna be our place where all the bootstrap of our project will happen, and I already pre-populated with some of the stuff that I will be using today. So Spring for Kafka, Spring for Kafka Streams, Spring Cloud Streams. That's what we're going to be using. Lombok and reactive web, just like naturally, thing that we adding as a dependency to our application. In my previous live streams, we have this application where we do have some of the randomly generated e-commerce items, and we build a materialized view. So in this case, we're using Spring Boot and a little bit of sprinkle of Spring Kafka. Today, we're going to be trying to simplify things. Right, so I will try to show you some of the different approach for building these apps, and we'll see how it goes. And do not forget, like I do have agenda to entertain you during this stream, but it's all about if you have any like specific questions, I can stop and talk about some of the use cases. Again, this is live streams where I am more interested to hear from you, interactive audience, and getting some of the input on my my performance. Okay. So yeah, the Spring Boot has a dark theme, so we can do things like that if if you are coming into, there's like a nighttime, we're going into this night theme if you would like. All right, so I click generate, which brings me to downloads, and let's see. All right. I'm going into downloads. Let me know if the font is big enough so you'll be able to see the stuff is going on the console. Zip Spring Cloud Streams. I'll just do Livestreams. And we do IntelliJ. All right, so in this application, we already have pretty much all dependencies, so we're going to start doing things. And the simplest thing that we are going to try to do is first like generate some data. To generate some data, we are using this library. I use this library, and you probably also want to use this. It's a pretty cool library called Java Faker, and I need to add this. Yep. So in this case, I will be using this library. Let me see if I will be able to download this. My internet is really funky today. Hopefully the stream will go in appropriate quality, and you will be enjoying this as well. Now, so this is where we start. Like start the the Spring Boot application that gives us everything, and this is where I want to do like a quick pause and talk about some of the approaches to programming model. So in a programming or specifically in data processing type of world where we do things, we're getting data from somewhere, we're doing something with data, and we're pushing data somewhere. Also known as a pattern where we have a source, processor, sink, or we do have, this is how the Kafka dictates, as a matter of fact. Like if you look into the explanation of the Kafka streams, it will give you idea of there's a source where we're getting data, Kafka topic, we're doing something, and we're putting this out. But to simplify this programming model, we can go even further, I guess. So we can say, okay, so what about we kind of separate these three steps? We can take like separate interface for creating a source of data, so something that will be generating our data, and something that will write data somewhere, and like generate this and write this somewhere, and after that something that can read this data from somewhere. So in this case we have a source, sink, and we need to do with some processing. So in if we're talking about like in simplified fashion, essentially when we need to get data from somewhere, so we need to source of data. Oh no, let's start with generating. It's going to be fun. So we're going to be writing data somewhere. So in Java, we do have the programming interface, or like in Kafka. Let's do this. In Kafka, we have this producer, right? That usually used to write data somewhere. So let me do this one. So it's a let's say like this. Some ASCII art today. Sorry, it's not even Java, it's a Kafka. So in Kafka world, we do have this one, and what do we have in Java? So, but in Java, we have this Java 8 programming model where we introduced the bunch of functions introduced, and a bunch of interfaces were introduced. And if we do look something like supplier, which is Java OTL function. So essentially, it just have one method that returns something. It looks like it can be used to produce data. So that's why in a programming pattern that we're going to be using today, we're going to be using supplier as our producer. Next thing is the source. Who can tell me if you're still here? If we're talking about this the program interfaces. All right, so let me quickly address some of the comments. Okay, so can you switch editor to dark mode? Okay, so we probably will have some of the opinions here. I believe in the past I did a dark mode and change into LED theme. Yeah, I did in a dark mode, and let me change my phone there. Let me know if it's better and people enjoying this scene in a dark mode. So I will be using this in yeah. Let's see my theme. Yeah. So if dark mode is better for you or not, so just let me know. All right. Yes, and we do have a correct comment here. This is exactly what I'm going into. So I'm going into sync is a consumer. That is precisely right. Let me see if I got rid of this one. So we do have a Kafka, not the sync. So from perspective of our application. So I'm looking to this one from perspective of our application. So as a source of data in our application, we're reading data from somewhere. So in this case, it's going to be Kafka consumer, not the sync. And in Java interface, there is a consumer function that has this method accept. So some of the system needs to bring this data. So some of the system needs to bring this data in, right? So we have a Kafka topic, and this data from Kafka topic will land here. So in this case, it's also consumer, naturally. And the processor. So in the world of Kafka, we have this thing called Kafka streams. This is going to be our streams. This is going to be our the function that will be processing things. Let me do a little bit bigger font so people also will see it better. Now, in the world of Java, it's going to be function, right? Because we do have a function guy. It has some input and has some output. So essentially, we're getting something in and getting something out. So I'll try to explain this, the programming model, and use this programming model in the world of Spring Cloud Streams. All right. So essentially, in order to produce data, I need to have some of the interface. So in this case, I'm going to be saying supplier. Some function that will return a supplier. We can figure out get, say, products. And in this case, return a new supplier. Supplier, we need to implement method get. We'll just replace this with lambda. And this is it. This is all that we need to have in order to implement the method, to implement some of the production function. So in our case, we do have something like, let's do this a little bit more. So we have this Kafka library that will do, and I will do something like a commerce. And let's do this one. So I will do faker dot instance in, I'll say, war. So we will use this in multiple times. We'll just use commerce in order to get some products. And this is what we're going to be product name. This is going to be using this because we were using this in my in the previous version of this application, right? So in this random generated, we use this producer. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can return to previous live streams. They also available. Recordings are available, and you can watch the why I use this application. Essentially, it's a materialized view of the products that come into our system. There's some questions here. Let's take a look, and we'll do how I can dynamic size session window must be used with the serverless application with Apache 9.5 is a source transform. It sounds like a super specific question and that's related somehow on Apache 9.5, but like how you can specify dynamic session window. This is a very good question. I think in terms of like windowing and all this stuff, I will prepare some like separate stream where I will explain all windowing stuff that is there. But like I guess it's like a follow-up to this question. Assume you nothing to do with scheme registry. It's just a data format, but you're asking about the windowing semantics, so it's like two things that totally orthogonal. So, but stay tuned for more episodes where I will talking about the windowing because it will require some of the explanation. I don't want to like a sidetrack from this one. All right. A question about Java version. Yes, I'm using Java 11 version. You should use 2. You can try to use Java 8, but you definitely don't want to use Java 8 for new projects. Yes, you might have some legacy projects you want to consider to moving forward with with new versions. But hey, I'm not the one to tell you what to do, right? Okay, so we're getting back to our application. So we're going to be using the product, and there's some instance .code. I can use this for, I don't know, like some of the auto-generated. Yeah, so we're going to be using this as our key. It's going to be our like a barcode type of situation. We have a product and we have a barcode. Okay, we figured this out. Now, so essentially what we need to do here is a return. If I just return same like instance dot commerce dot product, and I will do instance dot commerce not commerce code. Code, and let's just do EN13. It's just going to be this code that will be used for many product code, something like that. And in our world of Kafka, we need to do this with key value. So we have a key value, right? So it's our key and the key value. So what's going to be a return type in my application? So it can be it can be like a Kafka, the producer message, but I would like to use some of the auto configuration that comes into auto configurations and auto transformations that come into this framework. So I don't need to deal with serialization myself. So what I can do here is in my supplier, I specify the type. And then it's going to be a message. And it's going to be Spring Framework messaging. And inside here is going to be my payload. My message is going to be using product information, so it will include the string information. In order to do so in Spring Cloud world, so I will just do return message builder. Message builder dot with payload. In this case, it's going to be our product. So there's going to be instance. Sorry, commerce dot get commerce product name. What it has? Promotion code. No, not going to be using any promotion code. Now, so in order to the framework be able to turn into the actual Kafka message, remember here I didn't mention anything about Kafka yet. So nothing to do with Kafka. I need to specify some additional information, and there's a method that says set header. Set header allows me to put some additional information in the message header, and like when we will look at the message, you will understand why we're doing this. So I will just do Kafka support, Kafka headers, and key. And the value is going to be our product code dot get bytes. Oh, yeah, that's all right. And the next thing is just do a build. So this is the message. I'll just do. This is the method that will generate some of the information where our data will go. So we'll just do. Formatting, some formatting stuff looks nice. Now, in order to make it work, I just need to specify this bin, and in this case, Spring Framework will figure this out. Now, let's connect to this real system. Let's connect to this some sort of system. In my case, it's going to be our Confluent Cloud. We just do a login with my Livestreams password. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so folks, how are we doing so far? Just do not forget, make some noise in the comments, make some noise in live chat session, so I would know that something is going right. Get products. Let me kill this this topic for a second, because I guess it's some leftover from my tests. And this is a good example how we can see how we can delete the topics from cCloud UI. So also let's see if my cCloud CLI, cCloud Kafka cluster list is also works. And I will be able to see some of the topics from my cluster. So for some reason it's very slow today. I don't know why. I need to investigate this, but probably will opt out for this. Now, next thing is that we need to provide application.properties. You know how to do this from previous episodes, right? If you don't, it's very easy actually. You can go here into this tools and clients config, clients, and there's a Spring Boot client config. And just copy paste in your application and you should be good to go. Now, as you can see here, there's nothing, this code is nothing to do, and it's just like a function code. And the good thing is that you can test it fairly easy. You can use this and to test it because it's just a regular function that is your supplier. You get the supplier, you call method get, and you get this one of the values, and you can test it. I'm probably not gonna test this because it's gonna be random. So there's nothing here says Kafka except one thing. Let's look in our build.gradle. So inside our build.gradle, we do have a bunch of things. And the way how the Spring Cloud framework will work some of the Spring magic is that if it would find some of the binders in the class path, so in this particular case, I'm using Kafka binder in the class path and Kafka binder Kafka streams, so it will automatically figure out, okay, so there is a function that looks like some of the interface that I can do something with, and I need to bind this to actual transport. So your function, your application will do the thing, and the framework will kind of figure it out for you. So there is some conventions, we will see it in a second, that will create the topics for you. We can work through this convention and figure out how we can override this, but let's just like run this and see if this will go as planned. So I'm building this application. It's compiled successfully. Starting. And now, so what happens here? So Spring Cloud Streams found the get products method. And because it was annotated as a bin, and the Spring Cloud Streams figure out, okay, so like probably I need to make this as something that will start producing data into Kafka topic. So in this case, I do have a Kafka producer that writes in the topic. And inside my topics here, remember I was talking about convention. And by convention, it was name of the function. Because it is a supplier, this supplier will send the data out of your application. So in this case, it's not another way around thinking, right? So let's see if we have any messages here. Hopefully, yeah. So application produced some of the messages. Let's talk a little bit closely on those. Let's see if I'll be able to expand this card and see some of the additional information. Because it will serialize this as a JSON, as a matter of fact. Oh, no, it's not a JSON. It's actually serialize this as just a regular string. Yeah, it's not even JSON. So some randomly generated code and some of the values. So this method just simply producing some of the random data into this application. And there's some headers information. So header information, let me actually show you. In Spring Cloud Streams, we just recently add this Spring Cloud. so many clouds. I don't even know. In Confluent Cloud UI, we added a few cool features. For example, if you want to see a particular message, we can go and say, just download this. And it will set messages from particular topic in a JSON format. And I click save. And it also provides me ability to do comma separated, save. And I can go in my console. I'll just do my downloads, and inside my downloads I can do C messages, and in this particular case JSON, and I see all these messages. Right. So if I will do messages and JSON, and after that I need to feed this into GQ, so we can see all these messages coming here. Some of the things that the Spring Cloud Streams added here is the two headers. One header, it's about the content type, and based on this, the message builder binder get this message and extracted the Kafka information and transformed this. So this binder this guy will be responsible for doing some transformation. JSON, 2 bytes, it's also built in and simplified some of the user experience, developer experience here. This kind of stuff is handled by framework. So thing that I hinted here, this will be translated into native Kafka topic, because some of the systems that might be using some of this binder concept or this messaging concept, they might not have a topic that have a key. So if you're using this like just a regular messaging, like GMS, there's no notion of the key. You can embed this somewhere, and this is how the framework provides the way providing headers. But for particular binder that will bind your code to particular transport system, this thing would be used as a message key. So like we provided this as a header, but this header was transformed into this key. So that's one thing. Next thing is that we need to figure out how we can consume this data. So one of the options would be, if my cloud is still alive, cloud Kafka topics list. Let's see if, yeah. So like my my application finally back. I'll just do cloud Kafka topic. Oh. Did I show you this last time or I didn't? We did this like pretty cool thing in our cloud. It's called cloud shell. So what it does, it have a like a very nice and user-friendly interactive way to interact with cloud. So in this particular case, I can do cloud Kafka. What is that? We want to topic. And I want to do Kafka topic consume, and I want to consume from the topics. Where's this get products? And my messages are coming in. So that's also pretty cool. Now let's implement the consumer for our method, for our thing, the for our something. So like let's do some little bit more configuration. So I do a Spring Cloud function definition. And in this case, I can use this as get products. It's my function definition. I can do function bindings. So I need to specify the. I can specify the topic that I want to use for my applications. And I can do function bindings. No, I can do something like stream bindings or binders. Okay, so this is like a very interesting thing what's going to happen here. So we do this bindings, and after that we can specify. You know what, like before I explain this, let me actually show you, no, let's do this one, bindings. Next, I would say, oops, where's the get products? So we're going to be using, we will configure this particular binding by providing a, like a destination. So in this particular case, destination, we can customize our topic that we're going to be using, in this case, products. Because in our application, in our another application that here, we are producing orders, right? So we're producing orders, so not the products. We'll just do products, orders. But that's okay. Let's do orders. Let's do products. Yeah. Now the next thing we'll just do simple thing. We will copy this, and apart from configuring destination, we also can configure some other cool things like destination products. We can configure some of the things around Spring. For producer configuration, we can provide like different serialization versions. But essentially, what we also want to specify here, that is a Kafka binder. We can be like very explicit about this. And in this case, now my application, if I will restart my application, it will start producing my data into products topic. So command 4, just stop it. and the rest of it we can rely on defaults, and Confluent Cloud will create some of the topics with defaults, but I want to have this topic called products. So I will just go ahead and run this once again. So once again, it will find this method from definition. Now it should be able to, if I'll just go ahead, say cloud Kafka topic list, and I should be able to see my where is it? For some reason it didn't create this topic, but it should. Why it's not? Let's see. It didn't create this one for some reasons. Get products, destination products. Okay, so not the get products. Okay, so the way how it's how it works. So in this case, it will be using different destinations. So it will be using this is going to be our just do get products like this. So in this case, it will apply this configuration here. And while I restart, it will continue. So let me quickly check some of the comments. So I have to test Flutter Kafka client in my machine and creating KWS combo with MongoDB connector, and the KS on your GitHub month back is working. Oh yeah, some of my code might work, some of my code will not work, but it's glad that I was able to help with this one. Ankit, keep up, great job. All right, so hi Victor. Does supplier continue to produce data by scheduler, and how we can send only one message, for example, only one transaction from database consumer? Great question. So how we can do this type of stuff? There is a, I guess this is where I didn't dug very deep with this one, but I guess there is one of the options to do is to use kind of like a flux style, like, or mono style only once. This is a very good question. I will have to get back on this for you maybe next time. We're going to be talking about different patterns. Frankly, I didn't. So there's two problems the programmers have. Your code is not start working, and your code never stop working. So in my particular case, I was trying to make my code working. Now my code is don't stop working. Let's just see. Okay, so my let's see if my code is continue to work. Topics. So I do have this products topic. And around, okay, let's see if we can consume this. Kafka. Consume, and we're talking about the products, right? Products. And let's see, yeah, it's still working. So it's still working. Now it uses this correct topic. So now we can use the same approach to write the consumer. So our code can be, what time is it? Like, I don't know what time is it. Yeah, we have still plenty of time. So now, based on this configuration, now I need to provide the method that will be a consumer method. So in this case, my consumer needs to read the data from this. So I just do consumer. Again, be sure that you selected not this consumer, but this consumer. This consumer have a different methods. So it's a function that will receive something. We'll figure out what we just do consume products, right? And in this case, it's gonna be method that return a new consumer. Method accept. So we do have a method that we receive, so we can do this. So we do have a lombok, so we can use something like log this, and we just do log info, and this is our message. Now, we want to receive a couple things. We want to receive either a key value and we want to receive value. Let's receive value first. So in this case, we can see how Spring Cloud Streams framework handles some of the serialization for us. So we just do a message. Again, from the messaging, with type string. And in this case, we just do in this case, what we can do, log .info, and from the message we can do o dot do I need to specify the type here, or it should figure out, right? So I can do something like get payload. Get payload, that's word. This is gonna be our value. And o.get headers, get header, get, I can do Kafka headers key. And this is why I want the key. Our key was what? It's a bytes. So in this case, we're gonna do new string. Can we do bytes? Yeah, we can do bytes. And in this case, so get bytes, is it returning byte array, right? It's supposed, yeah, byte array. So in this case, it should work in another way. So get bytes. And we say in the standard UTF-8, that should do war, so let's say key. And what is this? What is that? Byte array. Yeah, something like this. Replace with objects required not. Huh. Maybe not. Yeah. In case of there's some of the null pointers. It's good. It's good to have. So we do have a key equals bam bam, and the value equals bam bam, and we just do key and value. Payload. Something like this. Now, so we will take this as a bin. Now we need to tell where this data coming from. By default, it will be use same notion. It will be using this the consume products dash in dash 0. But we need to change this for our application. So we know that our bindings will have this configuration for this consumer. So in this case, we need to have something like bindings. Now, in this case, it's going to be our consume products dash in, because data comes inside the application. We'll just do dash in and 0 dot destination. So we're reading this from the products topic, and we also need to tell that our binder is Kafka. And also we need to tell, because it's a consumer, we can create a consumer group ID, right? So I will just do things consumer group. I'm saying my Livestreams app. So that should be enough. So in this case, it will also rely on some of the default serialization things. So let's rerun this. I will just do, what the hell is wrong with my IntelliJ IDEA today? Stop and rerun. All right, so okay, so no errors, it's good, it's good. Okay, producer here. Now I don't see any messages. Why is that? Like, why there's no messages? Let's figure this out. So in my here, I have a definition products, but I didn't mention this consumer. So let me add those here as well. And the way how I specify these things here, I just do what's the name? Consume products. Now this definition also will be available in my application. I'm wondering if I would just like leave it definition without this, will the Spring Cloud Strings will pick it up? I don't know, like let's see. All right, so my consumer started and we start getting all good null pointer exceptions. Let's debug. Let's see what is going on here. So I am in here. Let's do a breakpoint, and I'm run this, debug this application. So we will see what we're getting. Maybe again I messed up something, which is which just happens. It's a live streams. Like I do this live. And there might be something going on. Why is this where this happening? So why is this? Okay, let's do this one. Okay, breakpoint, cool. So let's take a look. What do we have here? We do have a generic message, payload headers. Let's see what kind of headers we have. We do have headers called Kafka timestamp, receive topics, Kafka offset. Let's see. We're interested in this message key. It's a message key. This is going to be this one. Do we have a message key here? Surprisingly, there's no information. This like Kafka. Yeah, and so I don't see it. ID, message consumer, native headers present, true, delivery attempt, group ID. Okay, so this is something that I need to investigate because it's something that is like a super interesting thing that I don't know why this message was not assigned here. So let's do this one. I will and I will investigate this like offline, and I will report the next time. And so we will remove this key. At least like we will be able to display payload. Otherwise, I will not be able to show you No, I probably will not be able to show you this anyways. So the thing that I also want to show you is how you can plug Kafka streams here. And this is also like a very interesting thing to do. Let's see. Yeah, so the application works. It reads things in my, say, consumers. I can see this my Livestreams applications here. In my data flow, I should be able to see my I see that my producer was producing this guy. After that, I switched the name, and now the products is a message is produced to topic, and message is consumed by my Livestreams application. So this looks pretty good, right? So it looks pretty good, yeah. So that's let's stop here. So today, what we did. We have discussed a couple things. So we saw how we can just simply implementing two functions and providing configuration. We can do full-blown like event-driven application, basically, right? So this is the microservice that you can deploy with just one function that generates some data and constantly pumping. So for the next time, let me do some to-do here. To-do. Question from I guess it was Slava who asked these questions. Question from Slava: how I produce just one message with this approach message. Second thing is that show how to use Kafka streams in Spring Cloud Streams. And the use case, we already have this use case. We already seen this use case in our previous example, in our previous application here, that we're creating a, where is it? Sorry, this is a different one. Yeah. So we're creating this materialized view for our application. So we want to have the same thing here in our application. Plus, we want to expose this through the REST, and in future, we want to export it as a gRPC store as well. So the first thing, that if you missed the last week episode, I was talking about gRPC stuff. It was pretty awesome in my opinion. Before I go, let me check some of the questions that I have here. Received the message key. Okay, that's something that I didn't check, I guess. Let's check this real quick. I will put the breakpoint here. We'll just do debug. And let's see, stop and rerun. Yeah. Let's see if I will be able to see this here. Headers, and there is a Kafka. Yeah, Kafka received message key. Here we go. So how I can extract this received message key? There is a Kafka headers. Headers. Let's see if there's a kind of like a received. Aha, received message key I need to use. Okay, Naveen, respect. Thank you so much, my friend, for pointing out. That's one of the problems that we don't need to solve next time. So yeah, where is it? So this suggestion actually worked, and it's great that that I have you folks here in my live stream. With this, quick reminder, my friends. Your questions might be here in the live streams. DM those questions in this Twitter account. Also, you can tweet at Confluent. You can also reach out to me. Where? Like in Twitter. You can reach out to me in Slack, in our community Slack. Thank you for being a part of live streams. My name is Viktor Gemov, and as always, have a nice day.